It's Monday morning. It is June the 20th. I'm First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. How are you? Rise and shine. Hope you're having a great start to the day. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week in the mornings, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, and hopefully get your day started off educated on a positive note. All that fun stuff. We're having fun here doing our morning newscast. You can, of course, watch that on CW18 through 10 o'clock. But for now, let's chat a little bit about the weather, shall we? Top two things we're monitoring. First and foremost, we are saying goodbye to spring because, yeah, tomorrow morning at about 5 and change, summer begins. It is the summer solstice. We'll talk more about that. And summer is coming in like a lion. Gross. The temperatures are going to be heating up in a big, big way. We'll talk more about all of that ahead here on Coffee Talk. But first, let's just look outside and see what's doing. This is the Vehicle Assembly Building at the Kennedy Space Center, looking pretty okay out there. What about elsewhere? Well, across the coastline, I've been showing these tower cams all morning long, and they've been just beautiful. Melbourne, for example, let's take a look there, see what's doing. You can see blue skies. Did have some nastier storms earlier. Yeah, what about inland? Downtown Orlando, the bright sun, thin clouds. I-4 is looking good, heading out to the tourist district. Looking good there as well. So it is a lovely start to the day. Temperatures are climbing. Of course, we're cycling that information on the bottom of the screen there for you. But you can see we're in the upper 70s, lower 80s across town. First warning, live Doppler radar. We have been watching showers and thunder showers off the shoreline. One thing that's kind of interesting, let me bring this full screen. Let me stop this, and instead of last hour, let me back it up. I just want to show you, did you wake up to some of this? Of course, our radar only archives so far back. So this is 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, there was a bunch of rain. You know what? I can go, give me 2 seconds. I wanted to go back further. Do that. HQ. There we are. Hold on. Okay, all right, so let's go back a little further. Yeah, so look at what happened around midnight. This is midnight this morning. Had some nastier storms push into the metro, Seminole, Orange County, made it all the way to I-4, and then it just started getting stronger back over here toward Brevard County. That's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. almost, and then it just kind of started to fade out. So anyway, all that just to say, it was a stormy night for many locations. And as we look ahead, yeah, the Wayback Machine, that's right. As we look ahead to the day, we're in a bit of a break now. We do have the storms off the shoreline. I don't forget about you on YouTube, Sandy. Good morning to you. I haven't taken many questions. I've been just kind of focusing on this for now. But we're in a bit of a break now. Then we get those showers and those thunder showers firing up. 85 degrees, our 11 o'clock temperature, 88 degrees by 1 o'clock. The rains certainly have helped to keep the temperatures down in our forecast today. So instead of being like 96, 97, 98 degrees today, we're looking at 90 for a high temperature. I'll take that. 90 today, 40% coverage of showers and thunder showers. Here's a look neighborhood by neighborhood at those temperatures as well. 90 in Orlando, 91 in Leesburg, 92 degrees in Wildwood. Look along the coastline, for example, 87 degrees or so up and down the shoreline. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. Mary Joanne, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Tropics and gross week ahead. Well, I didn't say anything about the tropics. I just said we're saying goodbye to spring. It has, Elaine, been hot. It has indeed been hot. If you feel like throwing your arms up in the air, like you just don't care, remember to put your coffee cup down. Janice, that's funny. That's what we all needed. Judy says it stormed bad last night, woke me and the dog. It woke the dog and myself up as well. I was just glad that the kids didn't wake up, at least personally. Tina, good morning to you. The new Disney Wish, it arrived. It's already in. We've been reporting on it all morning long. Frankie, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Ashley, good morning to you. Hope everybody's having a great start today. Great thunderstorm at work yesterday, Carolyn says, except for the people who took their sweet time getting off the pool deck. Well, that's When the thunder roars, you gotta head indoors. All right, let's take a look at Futurecast and just zero in on the timing of the rain. I gotta find the button. Hold on a second. All right, so 10 o'clock. Notice in Brevard, it's already, and I'll bring it full screen for you. Notice it's already showing a few showers, perhaps trying to get going there in Brevard. By about 10, 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock, we're starting to see some of those colors. We're starting to see some of those showers coming to fruition. 12, 1, 2 o'clock, you can kind of see scattered showers, even a few thunder showers, continuing through 3, 4 o'clock. But into that 3, 4 o'clock time frame, we start to see the rains moving more and more off toward the south and the west. So, you know, pretty good. Not as warm here in New York City at all. Stay safe. Ree, good to see you. Thanks for hanging with us. I heard that rumbling in the Atlantic, Holly says, but rolled back over and didn't listen to the pitter-patter. I don't even think the dog noticed. Meanwhile, my Stella, you'd think that the dog of a meteorologist would not be freaked out by the weather. But yeah. What are you going to do, right? You'd think lightning within a half mile would make them move faster. You know what? You can lead a horse to water, right? You just can't make it drink. 5 p.m. rain's kind of fading, 6 p.m. rain's kind of fading, and then by 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, we're doing better and better and better. So yeah, I mean, it does look like a pretty nice forecast for us. Just have a few storms. I do want to point out, though, that while we're in that relatively, we'll call it the relatively summer pattern, look what happens once again this week. The temperatures build big time. Wednesday's high, 95. Again, today's high, 90. Wednesday, 95. Thursday, 98. Friday, 96. So we are building that heat in more and more and more. Taylor says, Stella, this is a no-hype situation. Simmer down. The problem is when I wake up in the middle of the night, I do not have my brain operating. So it's not a matter of me being able to keep her calm. It's a matter of me just being like trying to process what's happening. And it's so funny. It's so funny that we're having this conversation. Yesterday, like when my son Eric wakes up from a nap, he is so grumpy. He's just grumpy and loud and just crying, whining, whatever. Alexander is more like me. He just kind of sits there and he's like observing. I call it booting up. Like, are you like that if you take a nap? For me, when I wake up from a nap, I have to boot up. It takes me like 15, 20 minutes to operate. Am I weird? I know I'm weird. Tomorrow, the summer solstice at 5:13. 5:13 tomorrow morning, summer begins. Yeah, how about that? Pretty crazy, isn't it? Tomorrow is the longest day of the year, but believe it or not, it's only by a second. Today, the length of today is 13, daylight, okay? Daylight. 13 hours, 57 minutes, 40 seconds. Tomorrow, by 1 second, daylight is 13 hours, 57 minutes, 41 seconds. Yeah. Isn't that funny? So tomorrow is the summer solstice because it is the longest day of the year by 1 second. Isn't that funny how that works? I don't know. I always think that this is funny stuff. Good times. Of course, in Central Florida, we've been in summer for a while, and we always use, in the weather world, you know, like we are not astrologers. We study weather, and in weather, meteorological summer started June 1st. And the way that the meteorological calendar works is we operate it based off of kind of quarters, right? June, July, August, that's meteorological summer. So we're into the upswing. The average high hits 92 during the month of July. So yeah, good old summer. Good old summer. Marie says, goodbye, spring. I know, right? Goodbye, spring. When we look at the month, just because it's almost here, when we look at the month of July, the beginning of the month, the average high is 91. The end of the month, the average high is 92. So July is the hottest month, and it's also peak lightning season for us. Even though, interestingly enough, if we look at June, June is typically, did you know this? June is typically our wettest month. Typically. Not saying that's the case, but typically. Marie says, you're lucky. My youngest never took any naps, even at daycare. Used to, oh my God, used to be up at 4 a.m. to 7 p.m. Whoa, that's wild. Taylor says, got that Internet Explorer brain boot up. I know, right? Isn't that funny? I have to boot up 24/7, Janice says. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Unbelievable storm last night in Titusville set off my security system. Oh man, that's wild. Yeesh. At least, though, you've got the rest of the day. Like, you'll get a couple of popcorn showers late morning, early afternoon along the coastline, and everything moves inland. Today, beach running about 3 to 4 feet. So the wave action is a little higher, but it's still pretty nice. Yeah. Heat is definitely on the build these next few days. Take a look at Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast. We're working up and up. 98 degrees on Thursday. Yeah. Man. I'm ready to move to Alaska, Bill says. But what about the winters? Winters in Alaska are not fun. Mickey, did you ever hear back from your National Weather Service friend? Did the rainy season actually start? So let me quote you. Let me quote you what he said. Actually, let me pull it up on my phone. It'll be faster. He did respond, but I don't want to misquote. Stand by. Okay. So he says we don't call the rainy season in real time. Derek, one of the meteorologists, goes back and pours through the data after the fact. He said pretty sure it arrived before the heat wave. And I said that I, shameless plug, I was like, I still want you for coffee talk. To talk about things. And then he said, and Tony Cristaldi, I'm quoting you here, so if you're in Coffee Talk joining us, don't judge me. He said, I always tell people, and I thought that this was interesting, Mickey. So in talking about the rainy season, Tony Cristaldi says, I always tell people it arrives in fits and starts. So, we hit it, and, we're kind of going through these little adjustments, these little seasonal adjustments, but, he believes that it had started, and that makes sense. I think that it had started, yeah. Anchorage has the same weather as New York City. Oh, that's wild. I actually didn't know that. I focus on Florida and the tropics so much that I've never really paid much attention to that. Marie says, love Florida, hate our summer heat, but it's a part of our all year round forecast. Can't complain. Love our Sunshine State. I agree with that. Yes, it's going to be hot these next couple of days. What's interesting, I've got, how I tell you that I've got the air conditioning company that comes out like twice a year. Let me just tilt that down. I've got the air conditioning company comes out twice a year to look at my unit. They're going to be out on Thursday, the hottest day of the year, right? Like we've already hit 98 degrees. So this week again, hold on one second. Hey, bud. Tower cam, Kennedy Space Center tower cam to Dub for me, please. Kennedy Space Center tower cam to Dub. Sorry, just lining that up. But poor guy's gonna be working on my air conditioner on the hottest day of the year. I need to make sure that I've got like Gatorade and water so that I can offer it to him or her, whoever's working on my air conditioner. Chitty chitty bang bang syndrome. I have no idea what that. I've never seen that, so. I know, I'm sorry. I've also never seen Sound of Music. I will gladly take the heat and humidity all day long in comparison to the cold, snow, and ice. But that's just me, Shauna says. I will agree with that. Chris says it's nice to see mountains once in a while. The way I look at things is I can travel. I love my home base of Florida, right? Like, I love to travel. I love to see other things. But I do love having my home base in Florida. I do. By the way, I've got a weather hit coming up here in just a couple of moments, so we'll just chat for a little bit, and then we'll do tropics when I get back. But I just wanted to let you know. Let me get this set up. Okay, all right, we can chat a little bit, and then got a couple of things going on. I've got that lined up for there. Okay, all right, very good. So I've got a couple of minutes before I have to run over holiday travel. All right, so we've got one more story before I have to go running. But yeah, so we'll do tropics in just a couple of minutes. So talk amongst yourselves. Carol says you've never seen Sound of Music. I haven't. I'm like the worst Disney nerd on the face of the planet, right? Aye. All right. Well, that said, I'm going to pop up. What you're watching is CW18's Air Signal. I've got this story and one more, and then there's weather. And talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We'll talk about whatever you're talking about, and then we'll update the tropics. Good times. Kennedy Space Center to Dub, right? Thank you, buddy.
The TSA says it screened more than 2.4 million passengers on Friday.
All right, so we're doing travel times next, and that's what I was having to look at because this travel times graphic, that one is in the weather computer, so I had to make sure that that was set up.
Two fully canceled, and this was after 300 flights were delayed on Sunday. Always check. All right, meteorologist Eric Burris is joining us this morning to talk all about this great weather that we're expecting here on this Monday. Eric, it's been a long time since we've been able to talk about the 80s.
Yeah,
and 90s.
right. I mean, when you think about it, the 80s are over here along the coastal spots. Right in the metro, we'll hit 90 degrees exactly, but it is absolutely beautiful. I mean, hold on. Look at that cloud. Like, how beautiful is that? That's almost like it should be a painting. They're doing the wet dress rehearsal out on Launch Complex 39B. That's, of course, the moon rocket that they have. So they're working on things out here. Exciting stuff at the Kennedy Space Center and beautiful weather for it. Current temperature sitting at 79 degrees in Titusville. We're at 76 in Sanford, 77 degrees in Orlando, and 82 to 83 from Melbourne up to Daytona Beach. First warning, live Doppler radar showing some offshore showers, but nothing going on over top of us. I think that that's going to change in the next few hours. We're going to start to get rains out east, and then that will work its way west through the course of the day. So here's a look at our 12-hour forecast. Beginning beautifully, mid-80s by 11 o'clock, upper 80s to 90 as we push into early afternoon, and that's when we start to get those rain chances building. 40% coverage of showers, even a few thunder showers today, and ending early, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, the rain coverage goes down, which is great. That means you can get outside and enjoy, go for that sunset walk along the beach or head into the pool right after dinner. Not bad at all. Lower 90s across the interior, which is in the ballpark of our average high. As a matter of fact, Orlando is 1 degree below average. When you consider we were at like 97, 98 degrees last week, this is a beautiful thing. This is a thing of dreams, right? Upper 80s along the shoreline, winds running 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. But brand new Futurecast data showing a fairly active early afternoon. There's 1 p.m., a few thunder showers out east, plenty to track on the radar through 2 o'clock right through the metro area. 3, 4 o'clock, it kind of drifts off toward the south and west and then starts to taper off by about 6, 7, 8 o'clock this evening. So our overall weather setup is a bit milder today. With that onshore wind, it pushes all the moisture over to the west coast. Tomorrow, we stay milder, but we don't get the rain. And that proves to be a problem because that means we start to heat things up. And looking ahead to your Wednesday and your Thursday, just take a look. 95, 98 degrees by Thursday. We're going to be within a degree, I think, of a record high this Thursday. So just be ready for it. The air conditioners will be humming once more. Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast. 40% chance of rain today. Tomorrow, summer begins. Tomorrow, the longest day of the year by 1 second. It is 1 second longer than today. Then the heat builds, and then into the weekend, rain chances on the increase. Sonica.
All right, Eric, thank you. We are
Okay. So I've got a couple of weather hits coming in back to back to back, but we'll have a few seconds to chat about what's going on. Yeah, this has been a problem, by the way, all morning long. There was a pretty bad accident, wrong way accident, what we're hearing. There was injury. At least one person had to be taken to the hospital, so that was a problem. Okay, so tropics, shall we talk about it? Here we are, nice and quiet, technically, the next 5 days' time. But give me a few seconds. Let me dial up raw computer model data. Do you? GFS model, pressure normalized anomaly. A few more seconds. Caribbean view. Okay, all right, here is the GFS model. This is the 6Z. This is the most recent model that we've got. Let's take it through, see what it's doing. Nice and quiet. Again, notice though out east, you see those greens and blues and purples. It's showing lowering pressure, but it's not tight, it's not confined, which means that we're not looking at anything of organization, or at least much organization, but broadening lower pressure. So you're probably talking about some rain, some unorganized moisture. That does fit the LRC pattern, so it makes sense. We're gonna have a kind of a wet setup late this week into the weekend, and that continues into early next week. You can still see the blues around through Sunday and through Monday. So there's going to be some energy in the area. Whether or not the Hurricane Center ever circles it as anything, you know, not overly excited about that. But nevertheless, you know, there's definitely, hold on one second, I just need to read. Stand by, stand by. Okay, sorry, just had to check this real fast. Okay, so I think that we're going to have rising rain chances this weekend for sure. Whether the Hurricane Center ever circles it or anything, it fits the LRC pattern, so makes me happy. And then high pressure is building in just thereafter. And then look at that, into early July, maybe a storm system working away. That looks like it would be more of a tropical feature. What I do think is interesting here, we're hour 324 and the GFS is not showing a CAG trying to form in the Caribbean? What? Did somebody like reboot the GFS? Seriously, how long has it been since this is hour 384, since out to hour 384 and the GFS doesn't try to throw a rando CAG low out, right? I just feel like that hasn't happened in a very long time. Maybe I'm a little bit crazy. I don't know. At any rate, I'll take it. I'll take it. Let me do this, let me do this. So by the way, any questions, comments, concerns? Anybody, anything? Before we wrap up Coffee Talk today, I want to make sure that you're taken care of. Anything? Yes? No? Maybe so? It's a beautiful day today at least, right? Love the orange tie, and he says, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Chris, I have it too. I did the subscription. But we need to talk, I want to see, unless you have the beta. If you've got the beta, then I want to see that. Go, Sue. Best of luck to you. Hope it all goes well for you. All right? Well, today I'll be having my strawberry pretzel set. Ooh, that sounds good. All right. All right. So I think that's it. A nice, relatively quiet day in the world of weather. Go be the sunshine in someone else's day. We're on CW18 until 10 o'clock. I will see you today as well on WESH 2 News at noon. Okay, Chris, I need to see it. Yeah, afternoon coffee talk at 3:30. Be good, guys and gals. I'll see you on all the different platforms, and of course, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. right here for Coffee Talk. Be good, y'all.